All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Explain It. I am one of your co-hosts, Caroline Kane. I'm also with the lovely Ingryd Hernandez. What's going on, Ingryd?
Hi, Caroline. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing really great. We just mentioned a little bit before going live here. I got to go spend New Year's up in. Actually, I want to talk about New Year's in Sedona before we get
Okay.
started because it was interesting. But today, everybody, we are going to be talking about door knocking, creative finance questions that you guys have, how to get started. If you have not already, share this with somebody, let them know that we're live. Want to make sure that we're helping you guys out as much as possible. But it's 2024. We're getting really, really niche on what's important to us and how we can achieve helping more homeowners in distress, solving more problems. We were just talking about a listing or a property that we have locked up right now that we are selling. And that means send us your deals, guys. Send us any of your deals that you have in the Phoenix area. We will buy. And we like the Sunbelt states where people want to go on vacation. So we're interested in those. What's up, El Boogie? What's up, Emmanuel? But if anybody is traveling out to Phoenix and you might want to go stay up in Sedona for a few months on end, Ingryd has a sweet property that I got to go check out this weekend, which was so cool. Thank you so much for letting me stay there. Got to hit a few hikes, got to see the last sunrise of 2023. And I didn't realize I went out to one of the breweries there and talked to the waitress. And I was like, what is there to do for New Year's? Just when I knew that we could see the stars. Thankfully, there was no fireworks. Enjoyed that for my dog. And she's like, the median age of Sedona is 67. And I was like, I could sense that. She's like, we have 3 bars in town. I feel like the best fit for you would be going to this place called Mooney's. It's an Irish pub. So Ingryd, if you ever go up there for New Year's next year and check out Mooney's because it was a combination of Yellowstone, 90210, my hometown in Indiana. It was just like everybody who ended up being on vacation in one spot. Just like, you should absolutely go. And there was a stripper pole in there. And I will say it was 90% dads using the stripper pole. And it was one of the best New Year's I've ever had. It was very entertaining. There was never a time where I was speechless multiple times through the night. So great time. And also before we get started, I'm really curious, how did you find that property in Sedona? Because that is a really nice property. I was impressed by the blinds. I couldn't figure out how to use them at first. And I was like, these are really nice. Like
the Hunter Douglas blinds for sure.
Those are nice. So how did you get that property? Did you buy it subject to, what was the situation there? Because you got a garage. That seemed extremely updated. Did you guys, is that all of your furniture or what? Tell me about this property.
Right on. Well, first I want to say, hey, El Boogie. Hey, Manuel, Torin, Joe, Samudio. I don't know Road to Consistency's name, but solid name. Thank you guys for being here. This property was brought to me by another wholesaler who found it from an agent who had it on market. So, and that agent was actually a SubTo student. So 3 SubTo students were involved in this transaction. And this was not a SubTo, it was a seller financing because it was a paid off property, free and clear, no mortgages.
Oh, nice.
And they're like, hey, the seller is like losing her mind because she can't believe that she paid $600,000 cash for it 2 years ago and she hasn't been able to sell it for $550,000. And so I was like, hey, she owns it free and clear. I'll give her $600,000, even though it's listed for $550,000, but she has to be okay with just taking payments. And yeah, so it was a win-win for everybody because now she makes up the money that she paid for the property, which, by the way, does not include the additional investments like the things you called out, which is like the Hunter Douglas blinds.
You added all of that in the last 2 years?
The new carpet, the new appliances, all of that is new. So she's actually out $15,000 or something like that for that. And she's out the money that she had to pay for her realtor. So by not selling it at $550,000, I actually saved her close to $100,000 of a total loss. And so that's why, if it sounds like why would a seller want to sell like this and at zero interest? It's like, well, because it's the only way I could really make cash flow work And then two, it really makes sense for them to recoup the money that they would have otherwise lost. So the interest is sort of already more or less built in because the market was telling her her house was not worth the 550 she was on market for. So
that's wild. So I'm curious, what do you think when you rent this out? Because you're going to do it as a midterm rental. What do you think it will cash flow for you?
So the underlying mortgage is around, we'll call it 1540. And so that's
1540 for that thing?
what I have to pay the seller.
Ooh, okay.
And then I got a private money lender that I'm paying a higher interest rate than I normally would, but I needed to feel really good about the person executing, like, tell me you're going to do this. Because I actually had a private money lender who was going to give me the money. He gave me the runaround and then decided he wasn't going to. And I was like, what the heck? I like invested so much time and education for weeks. So I'm paying 12%. I normally don't pay this much for a long-term private money lender because, and why is that? Because this is a very, I'll call it, there's no complete 100% no risk investing, everybody. So if you're a private money lender, you're like, I shouldn't lose my money. Understand that you're investing. You could lose your money. Okay. But this is as secure as it's going to get, being that the amount in the first position is 1540 and rents, like normal long-term rents for that property, are between 2,700 and 3,000. So I already have a really big spread, right? So what I have to pay the PML is around $600 a month. So now we're at like 2,140, right?
Gotcha.
And then I'm expected to be able to rent that property out between 3,700 and 4,000 for 30-day stays. And so, and with like the HOA and the utilities, because I will pay for utilities, I'm all in around, we'll call it like 2,600.
Okay.
And so that's kind of where I'm sitting. I should have about $1,000 spread minimum between utilities and what I owe for the property.
How much money did you give down to the seller?
$50,000.
50,000. And then you also use that private money lender for the furniture?
More or less, yes.
Okay. So how much did you borrow from your private money lender all the way?
63,000.
Nice.
So 50,000 to the seller, 5,000 to the wholesaler. And then the reason I said more or less is because I put that money in like my reserves, knowing that I'm probably going to take about a month to stabilize the property, which we are at that marker. So I wanted to like close to 2 months sitting in the account so that I can work through marketing the deal. Actually, I just got a text from Tanisha. I love her.
Midterm rental queen, love Tanisha.
So she's marketing this property for me. So yeah, I have a couple of inquiries through Furnish Finder that I followed up on. I'm just waiting for their feedback. And I think where I have to provide maybe some more concessions that I really didn't want to is allow for dogs, because everybody has a freaking dog. And so it's not.
Yeah. I mean, especially in Sedona, everything in Sedona is dog friendly. Like everywhere we went, dogs were out and about.
Yeah. And by the way, the person who told you that the median age is like 67, that's for people who live there. What Sedona is experiencing is they're experiencing the most touristy population they've ever had.
Oh, wow.
And so the tourists hate it. And that's why they're starting to come down on a lot of short-term rental.
Locals.
Like you have to have the license for it. You have to be permitted for it, whatever. The city actually will pay you to make your property a long-term rental. The only crappy part about it, because I actually researched it, is that you have to put a deed restriction on your property. That means if you ever sell it during that time that deed restriction is in play, you also can't treat it as a short-term rental. And I think that deed restriction is either 5 or 10 years. I don't remember. I was like, what? Like, I think it was 10 years, and why I was like, nah, thank you. So, yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating. Well, Guys, deals are being done here. We want to help you guys get started. I know a lot of people, I told people earlier that we'd talk about door knocking. We'll do some role plays. I want to see about 12 more people hop in before we do some role plays, but we want to get to the questions that you guys have. So if you would in the side chat, just let us know where you're from. What is a question that you have burning inside while I get started, and break down kind of how you guys can get started door knocking and finding those people that need to sell. So Ingrid, with your homeowner, let's talk about this, because earlier I had a few people, I ran both daily dials by myself today. I had somebody come up and like, help me. I'm going to go to a house on Sunday that's a 6-bedroom, 5-bath house, and they're going through a divorce. What offer do I give them? Immediately, everyone, exactly. Immediately, my first thing was, oh my gosh, I was hurt actually, because this person has been on many Zooms with me and it meant they were not taking notes. So if you guys are in here, soak up what you can, chicken scratch, just so you're trying to retain some things. If there is no pain, if there is no problem, you need to get off the phone. Like the great Ludacris once said, move, biatch, get out the way. Move, biatch, get out the way. If they are not motivated, they don't have a problem, get away from them. Okay. I did a role play with somebody earlier today, and like, well, I don't know what to say once the person says they do want to sell their house. And there's 2 ways that I want you guys to take, 2 things I want you to take away at the beginning of this episode. 1, if they do not have a problem, you need to think like Ludacris. Step aside. I need to go find somebody who has a problem, because we get paid to solve problems. Write that down, highlight it, put it in bold. If they don't have a problem, you're not going to get paid. Ingrid had a homeowner up in Sedona. I'm guessing they live in California or something, who has $600,000 for a property.
No, she actually bought another property in Sedona to move to.
Oh my gosh. So got a Sedona property, had it for 2 years. I'm guessing she lived in there for a week, because that was one of the most pristine properties I've ever been in. That carpet seemed like it was just rolled.
Yep.
How long had it been on MLS?
At least more than 3 months from what I remember.
More than 3 months. She's still paying a mortgage on it. And at the same time, she was living in her other property in Sedona?
She was not, she paid it free and clear. So the only thing she was paying for was the HOA. So
got it.
Yeah.
So she's having expenses come out. She's got she's got some pain there, and you're going to dig into a little bit more. Guys, when you're talking to homeowners or people that have problems, you're looking for 3 to 5 pain points. Okay. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, with this homeowner, or with this student that brought a question to me, I said, you don't offer anything. You don't know what to offer. You need to pull away. You need to figure out what is their problem. Going straight into making offers, why would you do that if you don't know if they have a problem? So look for 3 to 5 pain points and really dig into those and understand what the problem is. Now, the other thing with the student, I was like, well, I'm really afraid. Once I ask somebody if they want to sell their house, they say yes. What should I do? And this is where you're going to get into pulling away. Mm-hmm. All right? Pull away. You want to sell your house? I mean, why would you want to sell to me? Why haven't you just listed it with a realtor? I know this one chick, Ingryd Hernandez. She'll list your house for you.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
What? I was going to say, actually, if that is the better reasoning, if you guys have properties in any state, let me know, because I work for a real broker. So first, let's make sure like you understand you have more tools in your toolbox than you think. And let's say listing is their best answer. They want too much for the property that you can't make work as an investor, and they deserve to get that much because their house is actually worth that. So I'm connected with agents across all 50 states. So if you want to bring that lead to us, we can still give you payment for that marketing that you've completed. We will just work through that. Don't expect thousands of dollars. That doesn't make sense. Because at the end of the day, it's somewhat of a dead lead for you. But yeah, no, I can totally connect you with an agent to help you list.
Here's the thing, not expecting a lot. I just got my first Amazon affiliate check. And I've just pushed books that I like on there. How do I make sure that none of my important stuff? I just recommend the books that I have. I'm going to make $111 off of Amazon.
That's so dope.
So I sold a couple $1,000s worth of things. I'm getting $111. So I'm going to buy a massage with it, or I'll go buy some sushi with it. So don't expect to get rich off of those things, but it's helpful. So yeah, if I'm not the best fit for them, also I want to push them away, because So the example with the student, they did a role play with me, and they said there was nothing wrong with the house except for the ceiling was falling down. They just had the roof fixed, but the contractors would not come back and fix the ceiling. They didn't want to do it anymore, and it was a role play. They wanted to be done with it and just on and out. And I was like, well, I mean, why don't you just have it fixed up and list it with a realtor? Well, I don't want to deal with the contractors anymore. As an investor, remember, we get paid to solve problems. We also, the first step, who in here, if you guys have been on a Zoom with me ever before, or you've been on one of these before, what is the foundation to real estate investing, everyone? Do you guys know what the foundation to real estate investing is? I love it. And also, while you guys are answering, Ingrid put this in the side chat already. Tanisha Spencer is who you guys need to connect with. She is great. Ingrid just put that in the side chat so you guys can see that. There we go. I'm seeing some responses now. Well, Ryan, almost. Solving problem. We can't get paid without solving problems, but what is the foundation as an exit strategy? What is our exit strategy foundation that we all need to go for? And we are 3 people away from doing some role plays here.
Oh, okay.
What do you guys think? It's going to be wholesaling. Go for those cash leads first. There you go. Ryan got it. Cash, cash, cash. Go for terms last. You got it, my man. Yes, we always want to come from a place of contribution. But first, whenever we're looking at deals, use your exit strategy. Wholesale this thing, get some change, because Ingrid, you're in a position now where you can sit on a property. You've done this a few times. You own rentals. You're ready to take the risk of only making, losing money for a few months until you're going to be able to cash flow. But when you got started, I mean, at least for me as well, I wanted some emergency funds set aside. Like my business bank account, I have $50,000 in it. I'm like, okay, that's my baseline. I'm feeling good on my business account. Good to go. Okay. Mm-hmm. If $200 would not change your life right now, do not try and keep properties, guys. You've brought this up a few times. When we're keeping properties, guys, it's a tax strategy. You need to do your active income at the beginning so you can have the breathing room and not stress. There is nothing worse than being in a deal that you want no part of. So do not try and keep everything. And when I did that role play with her, I was like, man, you only have the ceiling that needs to be fixed. Why don't you just hire that out and get it fixed? Why don't you list it with a realtor? I was pushing away. And when you push away, you're going to find out what the real problems are. Okay. Keep reversing with them. And then you're going to be able to dig a little bit deeper and see what the situation is and if you can be the best solution for them. So I would say don't immediately jump on. For me, every situation is different. I'm generalizing here, but you're going for cash first, especially if you're brand new. And I feel like a majority of people on here are brand new, looking for their first or second deal. Get that cash, get that emergency fund set up. I would make sure that you feel comfortable before you start keeping properties. Because, I mean, Ingrid, what kind of headaches have you had as a property owner? How much fun has it been being a rental owner before you got with Tanisha and you had other people like listing your properties for you?
Well, I've always actually self-managed. And because I am trying to get to that threshold where then I'm going to hand it off. I'm pretty close to it. So Stephen Hunt, who's a partner of mine here in Arizona, I flip with him. He has a property management company called Habu Management. Mm-hmm. Stands for highest and best use management. But yeah, I've dealt with all kinds of stuff. One time there was a lot of water and it was starting to hit the electrical box. Why? Well, freaking somebody never closed the electrical box door. Like literally that's all it would have taken. And then what I ended up having to do, I had to pay an electrician to fix the electrical box, all the breakers in there that got, I mean, that literally could have started a fire. And it all had to do with somebody just not closing the electrical box door. Geez, like that one was I think that one was the scariest for me. Other than my AC units not working. That one, by the way, take care of your credit. Because I took care of my credit and I didn't have any more cash to put towards this property. I was like, son of a gun, what am I going to do? Instead of having to go find a private money lender, I contacted a couple of HVAC companies, and one of them offered a zero interest loan. So I did that. I did a zero interest loan. and then used the cash flow to pay for the AC units, which ended up being close to $12,000. So that sucked.
If you guys don't want those headaches, don't get started in keeping properties right now.
If you can't deal with these types of things, do not get into buying and holding, honestly.
Wholesale. Get the heck out of your way, make some cash, and then eventually start keeping things when you're in a position like Ingrid where you're making too much money and you need to offset your taxes.
Correct.
Don't this just peace of mind. I'm a lifestyle girly. This weekend, I didn't really have my phone on me. I want to go and disconnect in nature. Depends on what kind of lifestyle you want. And I'm gonna tell you right now, life is short but sweet for certain, and I want to enjoy it. So bringing that up, I just wanted to point out, guys, don't go straight into trying to keep everything. Push them away. Really find out what the problem is. And then I want to get to questions. I want to do a few role plays because I know a lot of people are in here. Ingrid, is there anything else that you want to add before I share the link for people to jump up on stage and ask us questions?
No, I think that's good. I mean, make sure your partner's on the same page, because I've been dragging Mark to Sedona quite a bit, prepping this property, and he's like, "We're not done yet." I'm like, "Nope, we're not. Let's go."
Yeah.
But I mean, it's Sedona, so it's not that big of a chore, in my opinion. We're literally 2 hours away, and it's breathtaking. Like, I was like, "Are we sure we don't want to just move into that and we'll rent this out? The kids can share a room." No,
it's a good property. I was really, I did have one, I didn't tell you this, there's in the corner cabinet right above your coffee maker.
Oh,
I already know you know it.
Yep, there's nothing I can do about that one. I'm already annoyed by that.
So that's funny. All right, well, let's get into this, guys. We're going to answer your questions about door knocking. We're going to do some role plays. I did just throw a link in the side chat. It says StreamYard. You guys can click on that and then come in backstage. We'll bring you up. The only thing you need to know when you click on that, close out YouTube because there will be an echo. Now, let's get to one of the first questions. This Rigged Life just said, what do you bring with you every time you go door knocking? Great question. What do I bring with me? So before I door knock, and this is just in general, when you guys are looking for leads, you really want to have an idea of what's going to be the best use of your time. So Ingrid and I live over on the east side of Phoenix in the valley over here. I like this side. It's quiet. I'm close to Ingrid. I'd like to be close. Ingrid, hopefully we'll hear back from my lawyer on that property that we might be flipping. Like, I want to be right. And the crazy thing is I manifested that because I wanted to go do yoga with you all the time. That property came into my life. Right by our yoga studio. Pick an area that you are going to be consistent at. Whatever you guys are doing, pick an area you're going to be consistent with, and then be very niche on who you are contacting. So every time I go door knocking, before I door knock, I'm going roundabout on this question. I make sure that this was going to be worth my while. My seller avatar, who I do best with. I do really well with women over 40. I do well with women over 40. I have a better time of closing. I know, right? And I've done well with men. Actually, I do well with more so men that need a mom in their life. I just have that nurturing aspect. I helped a guy who was a knucklehead a few times, changed his phone number like 3 or 4 times, kept losing his phone, had 6 emails. You remember that situation.
Yes,
and got his check. I should have been on the phone with him when he spoke with title. It took about a month for him to get his check cleared because he didn't get everything set up. It was insane. But anyways, I know when I'm looking at properties and I see, okay, this is a single owner and it's a woman and I can do the math, like I can find them on the internet. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do really well when I talk to this person. I'm going to put those at the top of my list because why? I want to hit the things that I'm more likely to win on. So when I'm looking at what I'm going after, I'm going to say, okay, I found this Ingryd Hernandez. She fits the demographic of people that I'm going to do well with. She's in the zip code that I want to buy in. Let me put all of my energy into somebody that I think I can help. And I'm going to go all in on that lead. So I do that. Now, what do I bring with me when I go door knocking? 1, contracts, always in my car. I have blank contracts in my car. Do I go up to a house with a contract in hand? No. I don't want a homeowner to just think I'm over there as a thirsty person trying to get a deal. You know when somebody's reaching out to you and they're like, ooh, girl, you look juicy. I don't want to be that kind of person because my first strategy whenever I'm working with homeowners that are in pre-foreclosure or have a financial situation that is stressful, I want to help them keep their house. That's how I run my business. I've helped more people keep houses than I've bought this year. Well, we're in 2024, so it's true. But I want to make sure that people have the opportunity to keep their house. Now, if they can't, We go through, there's another situation. I got to reach back out to Monty. I've sent a lead over to Ingryd and Mark because he didn't want to sell it to an investor. He wanted to try and list it on market. And then Mark listed it. And Monty's like, well, I'm going to try and keep the property and we'll see what happens. I'm going to follow back up with him. But you have all of these different exits. So I want to push the homeowner to what's best for them. Now, once they do want to sell, hi, I'm your girl. Like, I've done all the heavy lifting for you. I've connected with all the things that you need. I'm really interested in it, and I can give you more money than anybody else can and help you rebuild your credit. I'm somebody who has not been breathing down their throat. So it depends on how you're going after these. I'm giving you a very long-winded answer. Contracts are in my car. I go up with sticky notes in my hand, in my pocket, and a pen. If somebody doesn't answer, I leave a little sticky note. Hey, I was here. Give me a call. Boom, put it on their door. And I take my phone, I take a picture, I keep track of it inside of my CRM. Ingryd and I both use Open Dispo. So if you guys go down below in the comments, you can see our Open Dispo link so you guys can get started with that. I just take really detailed notes. So when I get back home on my computer, I can see, okay, I door knocked Ingryd Hernandez. The house looked like nobody was there. It looked vacant. I should probably deep skip trace and see who else is in her life. And then when I get home, I have a task that's already on my CRM. I'll go and look over and like, oh, Ingryd's married to Mark Hernandez, and they actually live up in Sedona. They don't live over here in Phoenix. I'm going to go find out what the information is when I go up to Sedona. Maybe I'll door knock them there. So I just keep my phone with me. I take really good detailed notes. I leave a sticky note, contracts in the car. I now know, because I've been doing this long enough, my 5 ways to stop an auction. When you get started, you can go up with your own little printout. We've gone over that a few times on here. Have that ready, walk them through that. But I would say that's really the main thing that I carry. I do not wear a hat when I go up. I'm not wearing sunglasses when I door knock. I make sure that my hair is out. I have gotten so many compliments on my red hair. So I make sure that I am working what my mama gave me when I go door knocking. You should too. I'm wearing makeup. Just remember, it's not that much. I put on mascara, but make sure that your first impressions are really important. And I will tell you this much, as a woman, and this is for the gentlemen in here, as a woman, and Ingryd, you could probably give me more feedback because you've reproduced and had children. If you're coming up to my door as a man and you look sketchy, guess what? I'm not home. I don't even care if you saw me walking through the windows. I'm not answering the door. Okay. So do not go up and look sketchy because it's a quick way to not get answered. I want to look non-confrontational. I'll door knock and I'll back away so they can see me. Ingryd?
Yeah, I would say you should also consider wearing a vest that has like, what do they call the reflection stuff? Like those big yellow or greenish looking vests, because those make it look a little bit more official, so that you're not so when you're going and doing any sort of door knocking, you're not as concerned that somebody hasn't seen you. One, and it's safety, really. Like, hey, if you're going to be like sidewalk walking at all, either, like, nobody's going to run you over. But anyway, that for sure. I used to use an app on my phone that would map out my drive so that it was, there you go.
There you go. We're safe, baby. I want to be seen, lean, mean, and seen.
Yeah. For sure. I actually did have somebody bring out a gun when I was door knocking once, and I'm not the biggest fan on door knocking because of it now. I was out here in Tempe. It was one of the very first times I went door knocking with someone. He had his pants kind of down, and he showed that he had a gun. And so I was like, okay, cool. You are going to go through this foreclosure process on your own. So I laughed, but that's the only time that I felt any sort of hindrance to my presence. And I think I was even wearing like slight heels on my shoes. So I shouldn't look like I could, I don't know. It definitely felt like I was in a vulnerable position. I was like, bye. So, yeah.
I have not had that instance. I have had a few situations where I'm like, this is like, I've had interesting people invite me into their home, and I will not go into their home. I'll stay outside, especially like I'm 5'9", so I'm not. Ingryd, what are you, 5'6", 5'5"?
3.
Oh my gosh! But her energy says 5'6".
Okay.
But I'm a big woman. You're not going to scare me, and I can be intimidating when I need to be. But yeah, if you don't feel safe, don't do it. I've met up with homeowners that I've met them at a coffee shop. I've met at Starbucks before too. So you don't have to do that. But yeah, I have contracts in hand. And then one thing you also said is I do have a tire pump in my car if I do get a flat. So just like the little things you need just to be safe, but making sure that you're seeing
water,
yeah, those would be the big things. But do your research before you just go door knocking. Understand what your comps are going to be. It doesn't hurt to kind of have a rough idea of what your cash offer would be, just to understand. Because there was one time when I went to a house, first conversation, like, yeah, I want to sell. That's my only option. I was like, okay, well. And then the next day I went back after I explained subject to, and I put them under contract. And I was like, what do you want? So just have an idea, having a rough idea of what you want for cash would be really helpful.
Yeah,
so.
But definitely keep the contract in your car, because I don't like to look too much like I'm from the actual bank until I have to. So somebody said silly question. Oh, but yeah. So El Boogie, don't go inside. I think the only time I would consider going inside is if I had a partner with me and the person who opened the door seemed like I could take them. Yeah. So
I'm usually bigger than the people that I talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only gone into houses typically like little old men and smaller. Like, I just want to feel safe. So it all comes back down to your safety. Don't do anything that's going to make you feel unsafe.
Correct. Like, I could take grandma down. Like, I'm not going to take like a, 45-year-old man.
Yeah.
Who's even like my size, right? Like, no, obviously, no, thank you.
All right, let's get over to Jason. Jason came backstage, so we're going to get to your question here, Jason. Jason, what's going on, dog? Hit that unmute so I can hear you.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
Yo, doing well, man. Where are you in the world?
I'm in California right now, Riverside.
Okay. Huntington?
Riverside, Riverside.
Oh, Riverside. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, so Jason, how new are you to real estate? Have you done your first deal yet? What do you need help with?
I've done a few deals before.
Okay.
Now I'm getting into foreclosures. This is a brand new area for me.
Okay.
I've been watching your daily dials, but I still can't. Your script, for some reason, I'm still trying to follow because I'm not used to it.
So I don't have a script though. That's the thing. So I have an outline. Were you on today?
Yeah, I was on off and on.
A framework.
You have a framework. So every time it's different. You've heard I'm roughly saying the same thing, but I'm going to vary based on who I'm talking to. Where did I put my book? Where did it go? I had my Asking Questions with Sandra Way book out here a little bit ago. Oh, it's over here.
I just want to see if you can kind of talk a little bit about your framework so I can actually take better notes than I did this morning.
Do you have this book yet?
Gwen asked a question. No, I don't have the book.
Okay, we'll scan this so I can get 10 more cents from Amazon because they gave me $100 and buy that book from there. I have a bunch of books on there. It's under the compound effect is where you'll see it on that list there. Get that book, Go through it, go through in the Zoom vault. I do an entire series on that. Just build an outline, but I don't have an exact script. The main thing when you're talking to homeowners, this is for everybody. People want to be heard and they want to be understood. Okay, so which one were you on? You were on the East Coast or West Coast today?
West Coast.
West Coast. Okay. So I did quite a few role plays on there, and I broke down quite a bit. Savin was on that one, right? Was that the one where Savin? Okay. Yeah. So you heard me jump in because his tone, he just sounded very. I love him. Sounded well. Yeah. It was just. You are going to have an auction on your house. Did you want any solutions that I could present to you? I can help you stop it. So the really important thing, guys, when you're talking to these homeowners, I love that. El Boogie said the Daily Dial rocks. Well, guys, if you're in SubTo, come in. I'll see you on there. But what you need to understand when you're like I always like to refer back to like Ferris Bueller's Teacher. If our podcast sounded like Ferris Bueller's Teacher, you probably wouldn't be on here. So when you're talking to homeowners, it doesn't matter what you say. What really matters is how you make them feel. And in this book, this is such a good job. This is like the sales. I use it, and we're going to have him on here. I was texting him earlier today. My sales trainer is the same guy that Pace went to. We're going to get him on here. I think we're booked out for January, so he's probably going to come in February. I'm going to see if I can hook you guys up with some kind of special with him.
He has done such a great job explaining the Sandler sales system. It will change your personal life. It'll change your professional life. But people remember how you make them feel. So whatever you say to them, it doesn't really matter. Just be empathetic and be a nurturing parent. So you saw me on my role plays when I was going. When I'm talking to somebody who's if I'm about to deliver some really tough information, maybe I'm the first person to talk to them since their house has gone into pre-foreclosure, I'm going to change my tone. So let's do a role play here really quickly. I'm going to let you be the seller and I'm going to be the buyer. Okay. So everybody else, so do you have your phone near you?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Oh, you're on phone. Okay. Somebody record this really, just come back and watch this YouTube video, cut this little section so you can remember this when I do this intro. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, Jason, you ready?
Yeah.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Jason, this is Caroline. Can you hear me? Am I coming through clear?
Yeah, I can hear you. How can I help you?
Yeah. Hey, Jason, I was calling you. I just wanted to see how the conversation you had with Ingryd over at Wells Fargo went earlier today.
Who's Ingryd?
Notice my shift in my tone now. Oh, okay. So Ingryd did not reach out to you earlier today.
I don't even know who that is. What is the reason for this call? I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so I might be the first person that's gotten a hold of you. I was calling to see how the conversation went. Wells Fargo has set an auction for the property over here on 321 Banana Split Street. And I wanted to make sure that somebody presented solutions to you to stop the auction. It's probably a mistake. I'm going to go right in here in this. I'm breaking role play for a second. I'm going to, if you remember from the role play today, we talked about heroes, guides, and villains. I'm not going to attack the homeowner and tell them that they're dumb and they don't make their bills because it could be a mistake. There's sometimes where it's been mistakes. Okay. So jumping back into the role play here. This is probably a mistake. Sometimes one department doesn't speak to the other side. And I want to just make sure that you've had solutions presented to you because my job is just to make sure houses do not go to auction. Have you received any phone calls or any letters lately from Wells Fargo?
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware that I'm a little behind right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, would you like to hear some of the solutions to potentially stop this auction? I'm sure you probably have everything figured out. What solution did you go with?
Again, so far it's only about a 60-day late. We're gonna handle it, but I mean, if you have something that sounds interesting, I'll be hearing.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's quite a few ways to stop it. So typically how these phone calls work, I'm going to go into my upfront contract now. They take about 5 to 10 minutes. If it goes over 10 minutes, it might just be because you have some more questions. If at any point during this call, Jason, if I feel like I'm just not the right fit for you and you might work better with somebody else, would it be okay if I refer you out to maybe Ingryd Hernandez or another person I know that could help you out?
Who is Mark?
He's somebody that's on our team who works with another. I shouldn't have even. I said that because Ingryd's on here. Forget that I said Mark. Would it be okay if I refer you out to somebody else that'd be a better solution for you than me?
Yeah, I'll be okay with that.
Perfect. Okay. So what's going to happen in this call? I'm just going to ask you a few questions so I can understand the situation so we can get the best game plan. You're probably going to want to know, like, how does this work? Is this going to cost you any money? How long will this take? And then for me, what I'm going to do is just walk you through what the steps are that we use to help homeowners keep their properties or stop auctions, whatever we need to do. And then there is no charge. The way that we run our company, we just want to make sure nobody loses their house to an auction. But at the end of this, if things go well, I will ask you for a Google review. I'm just trying to get more reviews so we can help more families. And then if we do agree that we're a good fit, we're going to set up another phone call in the future so we can go through all of the solutions and figure out the best fit for you. Does that sound fair?
That sounds fair. I'm good with that.
Cool. So I did an upfront contract. I covered the time it was going to take. I gave you the freedom to leave the conversation. I told you I was going to ask questions. I covered your agenda and I covered my agenda. And then I'd go further into the conversation. I would talk about the solutions to stop the auction. But at the very beginning, that's the beginning of my calls. That's typically how it works. Was that helpful for anybody?
Yes, very.
That was helpful for you? Okay.
Yes.
What questions do you have? So also, did you notice I'm not just rolling out a bunch of stuff? Taking my time. I have you engaged. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to make sure that you understand and comprehend everything. And I want to give you an out. Maybe I'm not the best fit for you. Again, it comes down to what is the mission statement of your guys' businesses. For me, I want to stop auctions. My goal is to stop 1 auction a week. I want to make sure that homeowners do not have a foreclosure on their record. Okay, if I get to buy a house, that's great. I am an investor. I'd like to buy the house. But first and foremost, I want to take them through every option they can to keep it. And then if they can't keep it and they do want to sell, I want them to sell it to me. And this is what I've seen. This is how I feel. Doing the right thing, being ethical and having great morals. People want to work with me. I get better Google reviews from that. That's helping my business hand over fist. And I want to be able to sleep at night. Okay. Got a really strong moral compass. I want to make sure everybody's winning. So that's important to me. All right. You ready to do your role play? You're going to be the buyer here and I'll be the seller?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Let's do it, baby. Hey, guess what? It's not going to be great at the beginning, but the more you do this, the more repetitions you get, you're going to be unstoppable. So take it away, Jason. Give me a call.
All right. So ring.
Hello?
Yeah, can I speak to Carolyn?
Yeah, that's her. Who is this?
Hey, Carolyn, this is Jason. I was actually just trying to reach out to you to see if Ingrid was able to get a hold of you today. How'd that conversation go?
Ingrid was not able to get who is Ingrid?
Ingrid never really talked to you today?
No, I don't know. What is this call about? Ingrid, I don't know who an Ingrid is.
Okay. This might be a miscommunication, but usually Ingrid basically gets in contact with people if the bank probably has a derogatory late. Do you have maybe a problem going on with the foreclosure right now? Is that something, or do we have a mistake here? If not, I can go back and let her know.
Okay, you're doing great. I would just say it's probably a mistake. Remember what I said to you. Have you received any letters recently? Have you gotten any phone calls from your bank? And this is the beginning. So going back into this Riggs Life question, what do I do when I go up to these houses? I'm going to first research and find all the info because it's public information. So I'm getting my pre-foreclosure data directly from the county.
Right.
Guys, one thing about us on Explain It, we're going to give you guys resources that we use, and we're going to make sure that it works. And if it doesn't work, we're not going to tell you about it because I straight up, I don't want to be like scammed. So I've done, Ingrid and I both done countless YouTubes where we've called agents. You guys can see us talking to agents. I've done direct to seller. Go to the county and get that information, but you can see who the bank is on there. I just said Wells Fargo for the example in here. So I like to just, because it also helps you have that instant credibility. I know what I'm talking about. Does that make sense? Did I go too quickly, Jason? Do you understand why?
Do you not mention the fact that they are in foreclosure?
So I'm not going to go, I don't want to be accusatory. Hey, you haven't paid. That's why I say that it's probably a mistake thing. So it's probably a mistake. Sometimes one department doesn't speak to the other. Have you received any letters from the bank recently? And then you're going to get them to talk.
Okay.
Well, no, I haven't. Okay. Well, and there's a few different ways. This is why there's no perfect script, because you don't know which way the conversation is going to go. No, I think this is a mistake. You know what? It probably is.
Right.
I just want to make sure that it's all cleared up. Can I follow up with you next week? Can I follow up with you in a few days? When you spoke to the bank and made your last payment, what did they say? Well, I never spoke to the bank. And so a really good tool you guys can use: what, how, and when. Those are how you should start questions. Never start a question with why. What, how, and when. Because when you start a question with why, it makes us feel like little kids again. Jason, why didn't you clean your room? Jason, why are you broke? Jason, why didn't you pay your freaking bills? Jason, why didn't you take out the grocery or take out the trash? Jason, why didn't you clean up after yourself? Jason, why are you like this? Okay. Seems, do you hear me? I'm getting a little more aggressive on that. Or it could be into, Jason, what kept you from getting the trash taken out before trash day? Jason, when you took the trash out the night before the trash day, I think you might have brought it up a little early. Oh, yeah, no, I forgot to take it out. Whatever that. I'm giving you little silly examples here, but use what, how, and when questions when you're talking to a homeowner. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So let's jump back into this role play really quickly. I'm going to throw this link in here one more time so more people can come up if you guys have questions. Jason's the only one who jumped backstage, so he's getting all the attention. All right. So I just told you, let's go rewind, and you will say, have I received any letters? Okay, ask me if I've received any letters from the bank recently.
Okay. So have you received any letters from the bank recently at all?
I mean, I don't know if I've received any letters. I haven't really looked. But I don't think I don't think my house will go to auction. I usually pay my bills, and I've been with my bank for about 30 years. So I don't think, I think the bank is probably a mistake. You're right.
Okay, gotcha, perfect. Well, hey, listen, if you're going to handle it correctly, no problem. I'll to you, but would it be okay if we just promise you a little bit about some of the resources that we kind of have just in case your plan might want to take a pivot, just basically kind of hear us out and just kind of see what we can do for you. Would that be
No, I
okay?
think it's a
Or I don't
mistake.
want to
No,
overstep.
no, I don't want to talk about any of those things. It's probably a mistake. So thank you for your time, though.
Okay. So do I just end it right there? Or?
So you did great. The only thing I would have done is, because remember, it's all about the person. You want to get them to be curious and stuff. So it's probably how I would have gone. It is probably a mistake. You know what, Caroline? It's probably a mistake. Mind if I follow up with you on Friday after you've spoken to the bank and just get everything cleared up and just make sure that this has been a clerical error? What are you talking about? Okay. Gotcha. So that's the only thing I would do.
It's my messy hair.
Okay, gotcha. The person doesn't care about you, guys. This is very important. The seller does not care about you. They just want to make sure that you can perform and that you're trustworthy. Do the right thing. Okay. Are you going to be able to close? Do you do what you say you can do? Okay. So I would just don't make it about you. Make it more so about them. Okay. You know what? Probably a mistake. What's a better time for me to follow up with you on Friday, Jason? In the morning or the afternoon, just to make sure this has all been cleared up? Because I would just hate for this to not have been a mistake and there to be an auction on your record. Make sense?
Okay.
All right. Let's do it one more time while I have you on here before we get to the next person. So, yeah, no, I think it's a mistake, Jason.
Should I start from the beginning?
Nope, right here. We'll do this. I think it's a mistake, Jason. I'm a good person. I pay my bills.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, hey, listen, I don't want to overstep here, but we do have some resources that we basically can help you out with, just in case you want to listen to.
You're still going down the resources route. No. I don't care about you. Who are you? I don't know you. We have no rapport. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Okay? Remember, I'm thinking about me. WIIFM. What's in it for me? How do I get Jason away from me because I don't want to talk to you anymore? I am delusional. Most of these people, guys, I had a homeowner that I reached out to 2.5 months ago. Nope, we got it all figured out. They texted me yesterday. Hey, are you with that company that can help me stop my auction? So they had it all figured out 2.5 months ago. Now that the auction's closer, they're reaching back out to me because they've been in la la land. Okay, most of these people need to come back down to reality. So don't push your agenda on me. I know you want to give me your solutions. I don't want to hear it right now. I'm not willing to hear it. So this is what you need to do. Let me think I have control again. Give me control again. Say, completely understand. What's a better time for me to reach out and make sure this has all been cleared up, Jason? Friday morning or Friday afternoon? Just get off the phone. Again, you're going to go straight into disqualifying. Don't try and make a square peg fit in a round hole. You and I both know it's probably not a mistake. It probably is in pre-foreclosure, but let's let the homeowner call the bank and don't argue with somebody else's facts. You can't argue with the homeowner's facts. Okay? You ever gone to a family function? You have extreme right-wing people and extreme left-wing people. You can't get them they are going to believe what they're going to believe. And don't argue with their facts. Don't argue with their math. If I'm at the point in life right now, if you say 2 + 2 is 10, you're right. Because I don't have the energy to go through basic arithmetic with you. Caught me at 21, would have been a different story. Okay? All right. So, Jason, I think it's probably a mistake. Finish the role play.
Okay, not a problem. When would be a good time to follow up just to see if everything went through? Would it be okay on Friday or maybe follow up on Saturday?
Love it. Go straight into assuming. So I'm going to jump in, and this is how, or Ingrid, do you want to jump in? I saw you unmuted.
Well, I was going to say, actually avoid using the term follow-up. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes the word follow-up or the phrase follow-up. So what you say is, no problem, Caroline. let me contact you on Friday and let's make sure that this, like, be more direct. Like, already be assuming that you guys are going to be speaking
Talking.
with each other.
Yeah.
Right. So don't say follow up.
Yeah. So this is how I would say it, Jason. Jason, I completely understand it probably is a mistake. What's a better time for me to just make sure it's all been cleared up? Friday morning or Friday afternoon? I'm not asking for permission anymore. I'm assuming we're going to get there because this is my job. My job is to make sure an auction doesn't happen. Okay,
When
go.
you're
Ready?
saying when can I follow up, you're asking for permission.
Yeah, don't ask for permission. You're just going to straight up assume. So ready? Here we go, Jason. No, I think it's a mistake. I don't need you to give me your solutions.
Okay, sure. How about I give you a contact on Friday just to make sure everything's cleared up?
You're asking for permission.
Go ahead, Ingrid.
You're asking for permission again. So
How
just
about
say, hey, okay, no problem. When does Friday work? In the morning or afternoon, just so that we can make sure that we've got that confirmed. That's another way of doing it.
Okay.
Already assume that they're okay with you calling them and putting that together. Don't ask for permission again.
Okay, ready? Let's go again. Nah, it's probably a mistake. I got everything handled.
Okay, not a problem. How about basically give you a call on Friday and just to check if everything's okay?
Nah. Don't say how about I. Exactly. You're gonna go straight into what's a better time for me to check in the morning on Friday or the afternoon? You're assuming that we are already besties a little bit. Don't say how about I. How would it make you feel? When you're gonna start out with when. When is a better time for me to just make sure it's been cleared up? Friday morning or Friday afternoon? Ready? Say it. Just say it. When is a better time for me to follow up? Or don't say follow up. Dang. When is a better time for me?
When is a better time for me to follow up? Friday morning or Saturday?
Yes, but I said follow up and I messed you up there. When is a better time for me to make sure this has been handled? Friday morning or Friday afternoon? Go.
Okay, when is a better time to follow up with you? Friday morning?
No follow up. Don't say follow up. No
Sorry,
follow up.
your intake is messing up a little bit. That's
okay, let me get my microphone closer. Don't say follow up. Okay. You're just gonna go, what's a better time for me to make sure this has all been cleared up? Friday morning or Friday afternoon?
Okay. So when's a better time for me to follow up? Friday morning or
no follow up? Write down follow up on your paper right now and draw an X through it.
Contact.
You're never saying follow up
it's in my it's programmed in. Okay. I'm sorry. I've been using follow up for years. That's why. Okay. So when should I contact you? Okay.
Yeah. No, not when should I contact you. When? So because I keep changing it every time. What is a better time for me to make sure? So you're gonna start with what or when, whatever. When is a better time for me to make sure that this has all been cleared up? Friday morning or Friday afternoon? I'm going to say it one more time. When is a better time for me to make sure that this has all been cleared up? Friday morning or Friday afternoon? Hit me, Jason.
Okay. When is a better time for me? When is a better time for me to
make sure?
When is a better time for me to reach out? Friday morning.
Yeah. When is a better time for me to just make sure that this was a mistake? When is a better time for me to make sure that the bank did make an error here? Because, they're always goofing over there. Okay. Turn it into a game, make it a joke. When is a better time for me to just make sure the bank cleared up their mistake? Friday morning or Friday afternoon? Because I'm not going to accuse you of not paying your bills. Okay. There's so many. So write this down. Write it down so we have it. Write it down. Ready? Ready? No. When is a better time for me to make sure the bank cleared up this mistake? When is a better time for me to make sure the bank has cleared up this mistake? Friday morning or Friday afternoon? And guys, this is literally what I had to do when I got started. It's repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill. Right? What you write is what you invite. You need to have an outline. I don't know about you guys, but when COVID happened, I built IKEA furniture. I will never build IKEA furniture again. Could you imagine building IKEA furniture without instructions? You need to have an outline when you're getting started because you don't know what you're doing, and that's totally fine. We're new and we're learning.
When I just built all that furniture.
Did you build it or did Mark build it?
I built it, and so did he. We both did it. But
God bless you,
anyway,
because I would never.
always assume that they're ready to hear back from you, and all you're doing is figuring out the time.
Yep.
Hey, okay, cool. Let's connect on Friday. What time works better for you? 10 a.m. or 2 p.m.? You know,
Yep.
That's another way more direct way. Let them tell you you're wrong.
Mm-hmm. All right, you ready, Jason? Hit me. Read it to me. Let's go.
When is a better time for me to clear the bank has cleared this up? Friday morning or Friday afternoon?
Yay!
There you go, baby. Way to go. That's exactly all it is. You know what? Actually, Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock would be great, Jason. That'd be awesome because I will talk to them tomorrow and make sure that this knucklehead mistake has been cleared up. And then you're going to call me on Friday and you're going to say, so did they get everything cleared up? No, actually, you're right, Jason. Holy smokes, my house is going to go to auction and I don't want that. What solutions now I want to hear from you?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
How many times does it take for somebody to finally, for you to close a deal? What's the average, the national average, the conversations you're having with the seller before a deal closes? Do you know that answer? We're teaching through you.
Yes. It's always been a range for me. I want to say at least 15 to 20 contacts before we close the deal.
That is perfect. Yep. 15 to 20. The really good ones, the really good wholesalers, they'll do it in 13. But we're talking double digits, right? So when you're calling, and I know we're like trying to dissect every word you're saying because we want you to learn the good habits from the start, and we know what are some of those trigger phrases like follow up. Nobody likes that. That you get those right habits, and so that we can help you right from the get-go reduce how many times. But just want to set everybody's expectations here. Like seriously, it doesn't take unless you, for the record, I've had a lot of sales experience. Okay. My first real call, my first real deal was a one call deal. But that was because I've had a lot of sales experience in the back, right? If you haven't had a lot of sales experience and practice on the phone and feeling confident about what you're trying to do on the phone, it's going to take a while. So if the average is between 15 and 20, what does that tell you about the bell curve? There's a shit ton that happens way more than 20, right? So don't get discouraged. It takes a lot of contacts with the seller to close a deal.
Hang on. I'm typing it out so I can put it in the thing here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Andre Smith, 10 to 12 contacts. You're talking about a wholesaler who really knows their job. Yeah, the fortune is
in the follow-up. And I'm dyslexic, so that took me a minute to get fortune spelled correctly. But all of your money is made in the follow-up. So right here, I have this little sticky note on my computer. Every time I get a note, it's $600. Every time I go to a door and I get rejected, fine, that's $600 later. I have a deal right now. This deal with Ingryd. I have this property under contract. I got it under contract at $295,000. When I locked it up, my ARV on the property, my after repair value was $450,000. Because we live in Phoenix and everybody wants to live here because there's things to do, my ARV on the house is now $500,000. In 6 months, I have increased value on the property $50,000. Okay. From the outreach, I want to find those things that are going to be the most bang for my buck. Keep doing your outreach. Don't quit. From that one conversation, and I was actually that one woman was in her late 40s, individual owner, right where I wanted to be, did a great job. I talked to her. I let her have control. I gave third-party stories. I asked her what the situation was, what was more important to her. She wanted to rebuild her credit and move to freaking where I'm from, the Midwest, because she hates it here. I had an extremely motivated homeowner who was not able to pay their mortgage, barely making ends meet. Every single time you do that outreach, think of that. It's $600. I mean, right now, the assignment on that, even if we just sold that, no work on the reno. I want to go through a renovation. I want to and here's the other thing. This is the smart thing. I haven't done a complete fix and flip with like a ton of work. This house needs a new roof, new HVAC, needs updating. I'm going to bring in somebody who knows what they're doing and has already been through these situations before, so I can mitigate my risk.
Mm-hmm.
I want to work with Ingryd because she's been around. She's been in real estate longer than me, guys. I've only been in real estate for 3 years. I don't know everything. I just signed up to go to another mastermind. I am always trying to find the next room to be in. So you guys are in the right place coming on to this podcast. We're already over on time. I hope this was valuable. If you guys found any value out of today's episode, please click on that like button. You know, we got the little ticker going on the bottom. Click the like button on this video, save it, share it, comment. I was not loved enough as a child. Ingryd is the only one that's been validating me lately. Please tell me nice things. Words of affirmations matter to me. Tell me that I'm doing a good job. Pat me on the back. Okay. So if you guys found any value, let us know so we can keep doing this. I told Ingryd, I was like, dude, I want us to do more just us talking with our audience because I want to give more value to you guys. We've given out a list on here before. We want to keep giving you guys data. We want to do deals with you. I want to help 100 people get their first deal done in 2024. So come on here so we can do more. We can engage with you guys. We can, if you have money sitting around, we would bring a private money lender in on this deal that we're going to fix and flip. We can let you guys, we'll fly you guys out. You guys get to walk the property with us. You get to see everything. When you work with us, you get involved in everything. We will leave no stone unturned. That's literally, when we thought about the name of this podcast, we were like, what can we do that will really be engaging? Explain it. I don't want there to be any mystery. We want to clear up all the muddy water. I want you guys to win with us. So Jason, got on a tangent there. Sorry. Got emotional thinking about everybody saying nice things to me. Come in here, keep coming in, come to the Daily Dial, get some role plays in, fail forward. You're going to suck at first, dude. I sucked at first. I was not this good. Okay. It takes time. You have to keep investing in yourself. Actually, Jason, I don't know where you're at in life. If you go to Ingryd's, is your link tree in the bio down below, Ingryd?
It should.
If your link tree, I know that you and Marlon had your meeting today. We are having a mastermind at Mikasa in February, the first week of February, Ingryd?
Yes, first weekend.
First week of February. So I'm pulling up her Instagram so we can see this, guys. Go to Ingryd's Instagram. Jason, I'm saying this. I think there's one seat left. One person had a baby and can't come anymore. So I think we have one spot left at the mastermind at the Mindset Manor. So come over here. Also, go tell Ingryd how pretty she is. And don't watch that marketing video of me. I feel like a goober in there. But click on the link tree right there. It says link tree. It'll bring you to a new page, and then you can register for this mastermind that we're having on February 2nd through the 4th. You guys can learn all about it, what it's about. I did this mastermind. When was that? Was that August or September? Whatever it was. It was sick. And we're going to be doing it again, and you have new people coming in. This is who you want to be around. You want to hang around these kind of people. Marlon, the whole reason I moved into this house was because of Marlon Johnson. One, because I have a crush on him. I'm just kidding. He's my best friend. But two, because he's a really great guy and he hit $1 million this past year in his business. I want to hit $1 million in my business. So Jason, if you have the opportunity, I don't know where you're at, click on that. There is only one seat left. Everybody else who's on here, I'm only talking at Jason because he's up on stage with us. Come out here, hang out with us, talk about doing deals with us. Pick Ingryd's brain. Ingryd will speak at it. It's a really good event. You should come to it and level up with us. I'd love to see you out here, dude. I'd love to do some deals with you. Anyways, that's the end I have. Ingryd, I'm handing it over to you. I've been talking forever.
No, I love this. And you're so passionate. I hope that people can see like why we do this podcast. Like literally that rant right there was why we do this podcast, because we always go back to that beginner level person we were. And we're like, we just want somebody we can trust and ask dumb questions. Like, I know people said there's no such thing as a dumb question. Yes, there is, but that's okay. The point of asking a dumb question is to get smart. And once you are smart, then you can grow from there. So yes, there are dumb questions, but ask them anyway. Ask smart questions, whatever questions you have, we are here to help you. So I'm an immigrant. So unfortunately I cannot be a presidente, but
she can be my assistant though. But anyways, Jason, do you have any other questions for us? I feel like I just gave you a fire hose of information. I want to make sure that it was all digestible, and I'm going to hold the microphone so you guys can hear me better. I'm going to give you one last question for us if you have anything.
To be honest with you, that was the only thing holding me back. just talking to foreclosures. And I know you always have a system where you want to take care of the auction first. I've always been trained to go for the kill, go for the close. So like it's definitely a difference for me to try to basically help the seller first. Then I mean, I always help the seller, but not go for the sale. So
the reason, you know why I do this. So first and foremost, your body, your choice. So you know why I do this again. First and foremost, your body, your choice. Figure out what works for you. Give your little intros. You're going to try them out. Which one works best? Which is helping the most? How am I getting the largest response rate? Say things so you can. The biggest thing. How much? What's your biggest spend right now in your real estate business? What is the thing that you spend the most money on?
Texting.
Texting. Would you say data is expensive as well? Finding the right phone number?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Guess what? I want people to respond to me. Does it ever irk you, like when you send out a bunch of text messages and nobody replies? You're like, I hope this is the right phone number, right? You ever have that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Your girl has that problem too. You know what I do?
I don't want that, but it has happened to me.
No, I don't. Yeah, you don't want it. So you know what you need to do? You need to get more creative. You need to say off the wall shit. Okay? Say crazy stuff. The goal is to get a response and make sure your phone number is correct. Once I know that phone number is correct, guess what? You are in my drip campaign forever. Now I know the right phone number. I'll change my phone number, but I'm going to know your phone number and I'm going to follow up with you and I'm going to keep reaching out to you because I know you have a problem. And my goal is to make sure you either get the auction stopped or you sell your house or you do not. The main point is I don't want you to have a foreclosure on your record and your credit to be ruined for 7 years. Okay. That's at the end of the day. If you don't sell your house to me, whatever, I help somebody stop their auction, I can sleep easy at night. Your girl's got anxiety. I'm a light sleeper. I don't want to have any bad stress on me. Okay. Karma's real, baby. So I go into the approach. I want to look that I'm different. Again, talking about this book, you need to order this book. Okay. Go to my link tree, scan my QR code, go to my Instagram, go to my link tree, get that so I can get 3 cents from Amazon for recommending that book to you. Okay. And go through it and understand you want to look different. So here's my question for you on Jason. All right. If everybody and their mom is calling you and they're saying the exact same thing, if I called you and I said, hey, hi, is this Jason? What does it sound like? Do we sound like friends? Does it sound like I know who you are at all? Sounds like a cold call, you know, immediately. So what do? I want to be different. Yeah, exactly. I want to sound like I'm a person of authority with some credibility. Hey, Jason, it's Caroline. Am I coming through clear? Great. I'm calling you. So I want to be different from everybody else. And I want to sound like you can trust me. I have credibility. And guess what? I might not have all the answers. You know what's really cool about doing this podcast with Ingryd? I have a fast line to her phone number all the time. Like, I don't know what the heck is going on here. What should I do? Okay. So I ask Ingryd questions all the time. I don't know everything, but I have a community behind me. I have a resource behind me. Pace, I was texting Pace this morning. I text Pace Morby. He's going to be on here next week, guys. Pace Morby's going to be on our podcast next week, so you guys should be in here. All right. Ask those questions.
We might have a giveaway or two. Pace said that he wants 2024 to be the biggest giveaway year he's ever had. And I was like, we should learn from that. We should give something away.
So all I'm saying is, Jason, with my outreach, I want to make sure that I stand out. I look different and I can help people. And that's why I don't go into sell your house to me. Now, when I'm reaching out to probates, when I'm reaching out to driving for deals lists, completely different. But my pre-foreclosures, I have a different approach for pre-foreclosures because everybody and their mom is hitting them. I want to be seen as different. Okay. I do let them know after the final step on stopping an auction is I'm your buyer. I'm your buyer. Send me your deals. Okay. All right. I'm going to free you because I feel like I've just been talking at you, dog. So it's already 5:10. We've ran over on our time here. Next week, we have Pace Morby, the creative finance guy, our mentor, wearing my 10,000 people in SubTo shirt because of this. Where's my SubTo patch? There we go.
We're already old. We're like over 12,000.
I know. We're almost at 13. Go Givers change the game. Pace has made it so easy for us to excel and make more money. I can't wait for you guys. If you've never interacted with him, we'll maybe bring some people up and give you the opportunity to talk to him. Again, this is me asking you, please like this, share this, subscribe if you haven't already. Let us know what you want to see on here so we can make it happen. That is our goal. We want to help you guys out. We want you guys to do your first deal. We can do more of these. We went really deep on this conversation of role play today. Ingrid, I want to hand the mic over to you. I'm going to let you close us out because I'm tired of holding this. Take it away.
First of all, she sounds amazing. She should definitely use that microphone like that more often. But second, thank you everyone for joining us today for another round of Explain It with Caroline Kane and Ingryd Hernandez. Please make sure you join us every week as we have these podcasts for free. And if you feel like you've gotten a lot of value from them, please make sure you're sharing it, you're liking it. And by the way, kiddos, our media manager, Rosie, who's amazing, she's just put us on to 17 platforms. So that way you guys can hear us through official Audible podcast. So if you go out there and search for Explain It with Caroline and Ingrid, you should be able to see us out in the internets. So thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I am just going to chime back in. I picked it back up. I gave my arm a rest. Veronica said, is this every Wednesday? Yes. Every single Wednesday, 4:00 Arizona time. We are live on here and you guys can interact with us. We do reply back to you guys on Instagram. That's probably the fastest way to get a hold of us. I did see, I got a bone to pick with Instagram. I paid $15 for that verified check because people were getting scammed trying to get crypto. And there's another freaking fake account with my name on it. So if you ever see anybody that looks like Ingrid and myself and they're asking you for crypto, it's a lie. I have a blue verified check. Ingrid, if I'm not following Ingrid, it's not the real Ingrid. If Ingrid's not following me, it's not the real me. That's the quickest way to get the hang of it. But every Wednesday, 4:00 Arizona time, we're live on here. We want to make sure that you guys are learning from our channel. We want to help you get started. Thank you so much for showing up. Keep failing forward. Keep getting after it. We will see you guys next Wednesday at 4:00. Ingrid, love you, sister. Thank you, guys.